Hello everyone, welcome to my class in Physics with Neeta to explore concepts of physics. Today we will be learning about the semiconductors. On the basis of energy band theory, there are three types of substances: conductors, semiconductor, insulators. First we will see about the conductors. Every substance is having two bands. First valence band, another is conduction band. The energy of valence band is less than conduction band. So in conductors, the gap between, you can see in the first diagram, the possible energy band diagram shows that the conduction band is only partially filled with the electrons. With a little extra energy, the electrons can easily reach the empty energy levels above the field 1 and the conduction is possible. In the second diagram, you can see that the conduction band is overlapping with the valence band. This is because the lowest levels in the conduction band needs less energy than the highest level in the valence band. So the electrons in valence band overflow into conduction band and are free to move about in the crystal for conduction. The highest energy level in the conduction band occupied by electrons in a crystal, and this level is called Fermi level, and the energy occupied or corresponding to this level is called Fermi energy. Now we will see semiconductors. In the semiconductors, you can see the valence band and conduction band is not overlapping to each other. There is a gap. So the gap between valence band and conduction band is called forbidden energy gap. That range in the semiconductor is 1 electron volt, or it is approximately equal to 1 electron volt. At absolute zero temperature, no electron has energy to jump from valence band to conduction band, and hence the crystal is an insulator. But as we increase the temperature, at room temperature, some valence electrons gain energy more than the energy gap and move to conduction band to conduct even under the influence of a weak electric field. As an electron leaves the valence band, it leaves some energy level in band as unfilled. Such unfilled regions are termed as holes in the valence band, and they are mathematically taken as a positively charged. It means holes are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. Now we will see insulators. So you can see in the insulators, the gap between valence band and conduction band is high. It is of the range of 6 electron volt or more than 6 electron volt, and this gap is a very higher value. So if any charge, any electron want to move conduction band, that electron need this much energy to cross this gap, and it is very difficult. So that's why in the insulator there is no conduction between valence band to conduction band. Now we will see the charge carriers of semiconductors. Normally the charge carriers we use electrons and protons, but in the semiconductors the charge carriers are electrons and holes. So on receiving an addition energy, one of the electron from a covalent bond breaks and is free to move in the crystal lattice. While coming out the covalent bond, it leaves behind a vacancy which is called hole. Holes are positive in nature and electrons are negative in nature. The completion of a bond may not be necessarily due to an electron from a bond of a neighboring atom. The bond may be completed by a conduction band electron, that is free electron, and this is referred to as electron-hole recombination. Now we will see the diagram. This is a energy band diagram. You can see the position of valence band, which is a lower energy level, and conduction band is higher energy level which is above to the valence band, and the gap between these two bands, valence band and conduction band, is called forbidden energy gap. And the Fermi level, the highest value of conduction band, is called Fermi level. Now we can compare all the substances on the basis of energy band theory. So in that, in first you can see this is a diagram of insulator. Our valence band in this insulator is completely, it is full, but conduction band is empty because no charge can cross this energy gap to move to the conduction band because it is a very higher value. Then in semiconductor you can see the forbidden energy gap is less, it is of range of 1 electron volt. In a semiconductor, our valence band is almost full, not completely full, almost full, and conduction band also almost empty. In a conductor you can see conduction band and valence band both are overlapping to each other, so there is no forbidden energy gap. That's why it is very easy for the electrons which are present in the valence band to conduct up to conduction band. So conduction is possible in conductor. Now, according to our topic, semiconductors. Now, up to this we understood the semiconductors are that substance which shows the conduction in some conditions. So now we will see the types of semiconductors. So there are two types of semiconductors: intrinsic, which is also called pure semiconductors. Second is extrinsic, which is also called impure semiconductor. Again, extrinsic semiconductor is having two types: p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor. Now first we will see intrinsic, which is also called pure or undoped semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductor, which does not have any kind of impurities, behaves as an insulator at 0 degree Kelvin and behaves as a conductor at higher temperature. They are called intrinsic semiconductor. Germanium and silicon, fourth group elements, are the best example of intrinsic semiconductor. Now in intrinsic semiconductor, at the normal temperature there is no conduction, but as we increase the temperature, conduction is taking place. And in this type of semiconductor, the number of electrons generated is always equals to the number of holes. It means we can say the concentration of electrons and concentration of holes are equal in intrinsic semiconductor. Now, before moving on a extrinsic, we will see one process which we use to get the extrinsic semiconductor, and that process is called doping of a semiconductor. So doping is the process of deliberate addition of a very small amount of impurity into an intrinsic semiconductor. It means when we add a impurity in a pure semiconductors, we get a impure semiconductor, or which is also called extrinsic semiconductor. It means doping is a process to add the impurities in a pure semiconductor, and the impurities atoms which we add are called dopants. The semiconductors containing impurity is known as impure or extrinsic semiconductor. Now we will see the methods of doping. How we can do the doping process: heating the crystal in the presence of a dopant atoms. Second, adding impurity atoms in the molten state of semiconductor. Third, bombarding semiconductor by ions of impurity atoms. So by these three processes, we can make a extrinsic semiconductor. As I told you, there are two types of extrinsic semiconductor. So first we will see the p-type semiconductor. which is also called extrinsic or impure semiconductor. So when we add the plus 3 group element as an impurity in a plus 4 group element, which are called pure semiconductor, then we get the p-type semiconductor. For example, when germanium is doped with indium, germanium is plus 4 group element and indium is plus 3 group element. When indium is doped with the germanium, then 3 valence electrons of indium, you can see in this diagram, indium's outermost orbit 3 electrons are there. That 3 electrons are forming the covalent bond with the electrons of germanium, but one place is vacant there, and that vacancy is called hole. So in p-type semiconductor, we get the more charge carriers are hole and minority charge carriers are electron. The hole which is deliberately created may be filled with an electron from neighboring atom, creating a hole in that position from where the electron jumped. Therefore, the trivalent impurity atom is called acceptor. It means in this example, our indium is a impurity atom, so it is called acceptor. In a p-type semiconductor, the majority charge carriers are holes. Now we will see p-type semiconductor as an acceptor. That why it is called acceptor type semiconductor also. So in a p-type semiconductor, again we will see this is the valence band and this is a conduction band. So the acceptor impurity produces an energy level just above the valence band. This energy level is called acceptor level. The energy difference between acceptor energy level and the top of the valence band is much smaller than band gap. Electrons from the valence band can therefore easily move into the acceptor level by heating thermally agitated. So it is called p-type semiconductor or acceptor type semiconductor. As I told you that p-type semiconductors, in this the holes are the majority charge carriers and the electrons are minority charge carriers. It means number of holes will be greater than number of electrons. Now we will see another type of extrinsic semiconductor, that is n-type semiconductor. So when we add fifth group element as the impurity in plus 4 group element, or we can say in a pure semiconductor, then the semiconductor form is called n-type semiconductor. For example, when germanium is doped with arsenic, germanium is plus 4 group element which is forming the pure semiconductor, and arsenic is plus 5th group element. We can take another element also, phosphorus, antimony, these are also the plus 5 group elements. So when we add these elements, then the 4 valence electron of arsenic form covalent bond. You can see arsenic is having 5 electrons, but out of that 5, 4 are forming covalent bond with the germanium, but 1 extra electron is left there. That electron is loosely bound and the energy required to detach that 5th loosely bound electron is very less. The pentavalent impurity atom is called donor and the semiconductor is called n-type semiconductor. Now we will see n-type as a donor type semiconductor, or I can say that why it is called a donor type semiconductor. So this is the diagram. You can see in n-type semiconductor valence band and conduction band. Just below the conduction band there is a one level which is called the donor level. The force of attraction between this mobile electron and positively charged impurity ion is weakened by the dielectric constant of the medium. So such electrons from impurity atoms will have energy slightly less than the energies of the electrons in the conduction band. Therefore, energy state corresponding to the fifth electron is in the forbidden gap and slightly below the lower level of the conduction band. This energy level is called donor level and the impurity atom is called donor and the semiconductor is called donor type semiconductor. In an n-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are electrons and minority charge carriers are holes. It means number of electrons will be more than number of holes. Now we will see difference between intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. So intrinsic semiconductor is called pure semiconductor and we use fourth group element to form intrinsic semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductors are called impure semiconductor because in this we add +3 group element or fifth group element as an impurity. Second, conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor is less, but the conductivity of extrinsic semiconductor is high or we can increase it. The conductivity increases with the rise in temperature in intrinsic semiconductor. But extrinsic semiconductor, in this we can increase the conductivity by adding the more amount of impurity. It depends on the amount of impurity. In intrinsic semiconductor, number of holes are always equals to number of electrons. But in extrinsic semiconductor, in a p-type, holes are more than electron and in n-type semiconductor, electrons are more than holes. Now we will see the difference between p-type extrinsic semiconductor and n-type extrinsic semiconductor. So n-type semiconductor is also called donor type semiconductor. P-type semiconductor is also called acceptor type semiconductor. For n-type we add the pentavalent or we can say the fifth group element as an impurity. For p-type we add the third group element as an impurity. In n-type semiconductor, donor level lies close to the bottom of the conduction band. In a p-type semiconductor, acceptor level lies close to the top of the valence band. Next, electrons are majority carriers and holes are minority charge carriers in n-type. But in a p-type, the holes are majority charge carriers and electrons are minority charge carriers. Thank you.